Okay. So now we're getting into the another stream about Hasan Watanabe, Piker. This time broken up in different segments. I thought I'd give this guy another chance. I thought maybe there's something more to this guy than what the last two videos I did with him. I thought maybe there was something a little more depth here, something more value that offers people, and maybe maybe he actually has some knowledge of things. Well, it turns out I'm wrong. I gave the guy a chance, and he just is disappointing, really disappointing. But hey, don't let me be the spokesperson for this video. Let's listen to Nick Fuentes, what he has to say about Watanabe.
In that region, because that region is in striking distance.
He already starts making fun of his glasses thing. All right, let's see.
I love the dude. I love the fixing the glasses is crazy.
Anime protagonist, yeah.
Dude, look at his tiny fucking peanut head. Ugh, disgust. What a gauche, disgusting human being.
Already felting him. Good. Hey, I will respect anyone who's felts Hasan Piker. He deserves to be felted. Yeah. So yeah, it keeps going. It's pretty much spot on what Nick Fuentes is saying here. It's pretty good.
The monologue sucked. His whole live chat was clowning on him, saying like, "Dude, can you read?" Like he's reading from a script, trying to riff off of it. It's not working. But you can see that he is deliberately trying to imitate my style.
That's true though. When I watched his last stream, I was watching the first hour of it. It is like he is like reading a script. He's looking over to his left, and he's trying to read it, and he's trying to riff on it. That's the first thing I thought, because wait a minute, it looks like he's actually reading something he wrote down. Maybe he did Chat GPT. I don't know. Look at his notes, but yeah.
I assume for the clips.
Yeah.
He sees Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. It's my clips where I'm monologuing about politics, monologuing about Israel, whatever. And so he's just going to be like me of the left. He's going to put on the suit and tie, read off the script, do the monologue, and he's going to be like the progressive Marxist version of me.
Well, some people compare Hasanabi to Steven Crowder of the left. That might be a little more apt description of this guy. Yeah. Oh, just wait until we get to the first segment here. When he starts simping for China, it's disgusting.
And that's like the most
the one thing that he constantly tried to tell people that he wasn't.
Insane cargo cult I've seen in the space of all time.
Cargo cult?
So anyway, there were a bunch of clips like this. This person was posting
Yeah, there's a
what
lot.
Is this?
Yeah,
these
there
are
were
a
more.
montage.
So he did like a whole stream like this.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we're gonna get back to the news though, but
the thing is that the clip I'm going to start showing with, he actually he answers someone in the chat why he's not wearing a suit. I'll show you that in a minute. Let me finish watching this.
I thought that was hilarious. It was like hilarious. I just showed you the hands, the squint, the shirt and tie, the suit. Trying to do like a version of my show. I have to just be like, what are you doing, bro? What are you thinking? That's correct. He thought no one would notice. He thought nobody would make the comparison.
Hey, but that's typical communists, though. Communists, they can't create anything of their own. All they can do is just steal. That's all they can do. Is what communists and socialists always do. They're thieves. So yeah, no kidding. Of course, it's going to be thievery. Of course, you can't do anything creative because socialism is not about creating any kind of productivity at all. Nothing. It does not create. It destroys. So yeah, of course he's going to steal it.
Nobody
just like his country he simps for, China. China steals everything.
Would put two and two together, the side by side.
It's obvious.
Insane. Anyway, so that's that.
Thing. Yeah.
Hasan, just be yourself, bro. Just be yourself. He can't though, because he's like unappealing.
Yeah.
And I see them clipping his stream, trying to do the same thing as me. Like, for example, they posted a clip of him trying to be funny, and the caption was something like, Congress says this guy's a terrorist, him in reality, or something like that, trying to get at, oh, he's not a left-wing anti-Semite pro-terrorist. He's actually funny and cute. And it just doesn't work. It's like, bro is not funny like that. Bro is not funny. He's not animated. He's not funny. He has no charisma. I really think the only reason he's popular is simply because he has not been banned.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because they will not ban him from Twitch. Get him on YouTube. YouTube has a different TOS, and they'll probably. But, yeah, yeah, that's a true point. Yeah, he has not been banned. That's why he's still there. But nobody likes him anyway. If you go to his X.com account and look at the post up there, everyone just felts him, just dishes on him. Nobody likes the guy. So how can he have like 30,000 average? Well, I mean, his last stream from a couple of days ago gets like almost 500,000 views. Big deal. Asmongold Gold gets more. Or concurrent views, not bot views.
If Hasan was on an alternate platform like Kick or Rumble or whatever the other ones are, I seriously doubt he would have any kind of an audience. He's just...
That's right. That's right. Exactly that. What kind of audience would he have? He had nothing.
Institutional, like so many of the other streamers are. He is...
So that's the difference between Joe Rogan and Hasan Wahhabi. Right? Is that Joe Rogan appeals to the normies. And when he does his interviews, he gets to know the person. He wants to know the person he's interviewing. And he's built his audience organically. He's built this over a period of decades doing this podcasting thing. And he's done it organically. There's no, he's on Spotify and YouTube. There's no artificial anything about him at all. And that's the biggest difference between the arrogance of Hasanabe, Watanabe or Wasabi, is that he's Hasanabe is arrogant. He's like you said, he's not funny at all. He has no real charisma whatsoever. It's boring. I don't know who's more boring, the quartering or him. That's watch, you'll see.
A semi-articulate left-winger who young, has a live stream, not a bad-looking guy. And he's on the front page of Twitch every day. And I think that's literally what it comes down to. Because I watch this stuff and I'm like, and I've said this before, I watch his clips, interviews. He's not smart. He's not smart. He's arrogant, not compelling, not funny.
Whoa, buddy. He's really felting him.
And now he thinks
And it is true that he can be so boring. He is
watch.
Old. You saw that extra gray hair. Now he's getting gray.
Oh, yeah.
Hair.
The extra gray hair, I know.
Not good, guys.
Yep.
Reading too many Twitter posts.
if he wears the costume, he's going to have the Groiper effect. It doesn't work like that.
Boring.
But it is funny because he's only the latest one to do it. How many different little imitation acts, little tribute acts have there been? And typically they come from the conservative side. They tried to find, you know, I think in some ways they wanted that Nick Shirley to be a version of me, and I like him. But I think they groomed
He's not a talker, though.
him to
Nick Shirley also is annoying.
be like a Gen Z.
They need to have Nick Shirley do that for, like, Spanish audiences. Have him do
Really.
Pro-Trump, pro-America guy that isn't going to talk about Israel. And it's Nayland Haley, and it's John Doyle, and it's at National Review they were trying to do something like that. There were a not insignificant number of attempts from the establishment right to find and groom like a provocative, outrageous, Gen Z, far-right influencer, and they couldn't get it together. And now the latest effort is coming from the left. Kind of funny.
Well, people, what they do is they see what works, and they try to copy it.
Well, usually they try to see what works and try to copy it. Yeah, like me. No. You don't see too many people copying Kino Casino, though. Because that works. So those guys do like 11-hour streams, and they felt a lot of different people, and they publish their clips on YouTube. But, I don't really see too many people copying them, though.
That's all there is to it. They try to copy it. So whenever he sees that, you know, you're getting taken seriously because you're wearing a suit. It's even the same color of the suit, right? It is. It's the same color. I don't even know what to say. He might be in 5 years. I don't know. Yeah, it's just.
Okay, so we're getting segue into the clip. Here's and when Nick Fuentes says that Hasan is boring, lacks charisma and energy, listen to this. What the fuck is he doing? He even did the thing with the glasses, and he's just sitting there with that dead air. He's not even say anything. It's like, well, are you going to say anything? Are you going to look at your script? What are you going to do? Look at it. Just okay, you going to say anything?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who has more energy, the quartering or this jackass? Let's see. Look at that. He's not saying anything. All that dead air.
Yeah, in this.
Holy shit. They're just all that dead air. Holy crap. Nothing. He's just sitting there. And it's like, I watched a lot of this, and it's like that. Just boring. There's nothing to this at all. Yeah. So, I wanted to get to the part where he's really simping on China. It's called the Chinamaxxing. Now, I thought I had it here, but maybe this.
In Ramble, you ended up accidentally giving me far too much credit, in my opinion. Now, the reason why I also say this is because, like, sometimes people will be like, "Oh, this is the left's Tea Party." Yeah, except it's good. Okay, except
He doesn't explain how, or he doesn't explain where it comes from. He won't explain what the philosophy is. Just says it's good because it's left.
on the policy side, that means it's good.
What's with him talking? Listen to him slurring his speech too. Is he drunk or something? God, this is awful. This is boring.
On the politics side, it's unbelievably good. I mean, the Tea Party was astroturf movement backed by billionaires, and therefore it was obvious.
More lies. Absolute lies.
Obviously, a lot easier for them to grow within the ranks of the Republican Party because the Koch brothers started it, right? However,
okay, let's get to the simping.
About like a movement as an insurgency. However, not previously vocal defenders of Israel on social media. I think it's an attempt to counter the New York Times.
Huh? 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 Talk. Oh my God. He's not saying. Look at. Oh my God. This is worse than the quartering. I mean, the quartering has more energy to keep the conversation. I mean, keep the topic going for 15 minutes. How he can stretch that out, which is just, I mean, amazing and awful at the same time. But this guy's not saying anything. There's nothing here. I had it clipped up to the China simping, but I don't know if this is it or not.
Anyway, where was I?
Well, you were nowhere. You were drunk. Well, come on. Come on. The quartering has more energy than you.
Consider that you're arguing with AI bots? Maybe. They're calling it the most normal smear campaign ever. Yeah, I know. I'm going to talk about this as well. Where the hell is the suit? No suit for today.
No suit today. Why? Why no suit for today?
100K views?
Well, why no suit today, huh? I guess everyone caught on to your Nick Fuentes shtick that you're trying to copy, so you decided to ditch the suit. Mm-hmm. Instead, you're wearing this old army jacket you got out of a garbage can.
On BDBD, some netizens disagree with your take. Oh no. Face inflation together. Guess it's more desperate.
Oh yeah.
He's got such a narrow view. China doesn't care what Donald Trump did before, but what he's going to do now. Between nations, only interests and well-being matter. He fails to grasp a fundamental issue, whether King Know-it-all's tenure is more beneficial or detrimental to us. I believe the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. Yeah. The reason why we're in disagreement, which is a unique moment, because Chinese netizens usually love my takes.
Again, what's with the slurring speech? I can't understand what he's saying. So he's just reading this guy's comments here, and
Because
pretty
I'm
soon
not
he's gonna.
looking at it just as like what's beneficial for China in the interim. I'm not Chinese. I mean, I love saying I'm, Chinese or white Chinese. I think China has done
Anyway, let's see.
tremendously well in the last couple of decades, especially. I love Chinese development. I want to implement a bunch of the policies in China, and I think this is
But like, for example, name one policy you want to implement from China. Name one, please. Drum roll.
a very Chinese attitude to have, which I think a lot of Chinese netizens.
What is the Chinese attitude? He's not being specific at all here. Name one policy of China you like. Sungbung? The social credit score that North Korea developed and passed on to China? Is that the policy you want? Or the policy to reject the Uyghurs? Which policy do you like? Name one policy. And that's what I thought. You can't.
Will agree with me on this.
And what is the Chinese attitude anyway? Can you explain to me? What is the Chinese? What does he mean by this? I don't know. Just some arbitrary whim thing.
Is that to each their own?
Wow, what a hot take there. To each their own.
You can have socialism with Chinese characteristics. You can have socialism with American characteristics. Some of the stuff
Or you not have socialism at all.
that work in China might not work in the United States of America, and vice versa, right? And China understands that better than anybody else. However,
What do they understand better than anybody else? How to implement their socialism, or how to implement American socialism, or American Chinese socialism? Be specific and extrapolate on that. You're not being specific enough. This is just, oh my God, this is awful. This is supposed to be one of the top streamers on Twitch here. He gets front page notoriety, but yet he's nothing.
however, my analysis on
Uh-oh, here it comes. Here it comes. My analysis. Let's go.
what decisions she
Look, is he reading a script? Look at him reading the script. Oh my God. My analysis is, let's see. Oh, my font's too small. Maybe I should make it a little bigger so I can read it. Yeah. He gets 30,000 views. Right. Average. Sure.
Xi Jinping is making.
What?
Which, once again,
What? What, man? Be specific.
always will add is just my own
What in the hell are you reading? I make up your mind.
personal analysis. The fuck do I know? I mean, obviously he has
Now it's okay. Anyway,
considerations here. He is responsible for the well-being of 1.4 billion.
he's reading a script, man. This is high streamer. This is the best streamer on Twitch, and he's literally fucking reading a damn script. Look at that. He can't even read it right anyway. What, the font's too small, or maybe the words are too big for him to read? Remember, he was reading the book Lenin, What Is to Be Done. Yeah, like he was really reading that one. He was reading the blank page, more like it. But look at this guy. I thought maybe there was something more to this guy. Maybe I missed something in the last analysis that I did with him. But no, this guy's even worse than the quartering. At least the quartering can kind of keep a video going for 15 minutes on a drone, boring voice. You can stretch it on for 15 minutes. This guy's been going on for like 5-6 minutes. And he's got nothing. Nothing here. He's just reading, and he can't even interpret what he's reading. I don't even know what he's reading anyway. Some guy in the chat. And if you really are confused about the information you're reading, maybe you should do some research. Maybe you should actually read.
In Chinese people, right? First and foremost, as opposed.
Okay, Chinese people, they're not a collective of people. They're individuals. They're made up of an individual person. He's going to keep talking this way in the context of collective. But it's annoying.
My assessment, which is a more internationalist framework that I'm operating.
Look at your notes now. Look at it very carefully. Now, his glasses, does he have actual piece of glass in there? Because if we can maybe zoom in on the lens there, on his glasses there, see if we can see a reflection of what he's reading there. Obviously, he did not prepare for this.
Off of is that
how many times has he done it? Fix your glasses, too. My God, this is awful.
there are going to be, my assessment comes from an internationalist framework.
Get to the point.
And the Chinese netizens' assessment here is most likely coming from a pro-China perspective. They're Chinese.
What in the hell does that mean? What does that mean? What is pro-Chinese? Name a policy. How about a philosophy? Have you actually read Mao Zedong's Little Red Book? He has not said anything the last 10 minutes. Nothing specific.
He fails to grasp a fundamental issue. As for other negotiable issues, let's leave them the king know-it-all. At least we must secure the midterm elections of found.
Jesus Christ. This is worse than me.
Otherwise, how are we supposed to engage in political battles with the Democratic Party for the remaining?
Is talking that fast? What's that supposed to do? I guess he gets the voice, going faster than the thought. The thought is too slow to catch up, so he's got to talk real fast because the thought's not going to catch up yet. So maybe that happens a little bit later. But yeah, talk real fast and slur your speech.
What do you think? This round is just a safe face for Donald Trump, but there's probably little consensus in actual deals. Donald Trump's credibility can't be redeemed with a shared bike. Hasanabe's superficial understanding of China is still better than most Americans' perception of China, which shows how deeply the average American public misunderstands China. Because Donald Trump is someone who, if you give him an inch, he thinks he can take a mile. So you need to strike a balance where you don't give him too much leeway, yet he can't find fault with you. Make them feel valued, but don't demean yourself. There's like one of these, I feel like...
So, are you going to provide commentary on that? Your interpretation, your analysis, like you just said earlier, you were going to give us an analysis. What's your analysis of that take? Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? What do you disagree on? Give us something of value. He gives you nothing of value. You see how long I've watched the stream here. Once it gets into it, after about 15 minutes of welcome message, once he gets into it, he offers nothing of value.
I feel like the Chinese negotiation techniques are pretty similar.
What are the? He's not going to give any specifics.
Or to the Chinese Empire's negotiation techniques in some respects.
What are they? What's the difference between Chinese, Ming Dynasty negotiation techniques? How they compare to modern day? Or how is it compared to Mao Zedong? How is it compared to post Mao Zedong negotiating techniques? Can you be specific what time frame you're talking about? What do you mean? What are Chinese negotiation techniques?
If your enemy is weak, then flatter him. If your enemy...
Okay, good. Quote The Art of War. You fool. You fool. What does that have to do with modern day Chinese negotiation techniques? Explain. Yeah, I can think of some other The Art of War quotes, give the appearance that you're small when you are large. Give the appearance when you're large when you are small. There are only 5 tones in the musical's. Master Sun says there are only 5 tones in the musical scale. And within those 5 tones, you can create endless permutations. There you go. How's that for The Art of War? I've read The Art of War. So you're just quoting The Art of War. What does that have to do with modern? How does the modern president of China take that and kind of reinterpret that and maybe make it more of a modern Chinese negotiating technique? How does this compare to that? No.
He's strong, then diminish him. Okay.
Thanks for reading The Art of War. You couldn't even read the quote right, you dumbass.
Okay. If you have a strong foreign ad.
Oh yes, keep reading. Keep reading. I can't believe this shit. I'm splurging out on this. This is horrible. This is awful. Top streamer my ass.
Adversary that you are meeting, you try to embarrass them to the best of your ability by doing certain things.
Like what certain things do you do? Can you give us an example of that, Sir Hasan Watanabe?
So that they feel unwanted and no longer can negotiate from a stronger position.
Jesus, I'd rather watch the quartering. What did you say here? Okay, you quoted The Art of War. Okay, and does that negotiate to humiliate the person? What is the point?
If your enemy is, or if your adversary is a weakened adversary to begin with.
Okay. I want to see how much more I can endure with this shit. Because, okay, let's see. I want to get to where he starts talking about the Chinese infrastructure, the high-speed rail, and all that shit. Now, remember, this is the opening. It took us an hour and almost 30 minutes to get to this part of Chinamaxxing. First, he splurged out on the fact that people were calling him out on his stuff, and people like on Fox News or whatever, quoting him, or in context or out of context, whatever. Who cares? He just splurged out on that for like the first hour. And now he's just barely, after an hour and 30 minutes, just barely getting in the Chinamaxxing, even though that's the very first prompt in his title was Chinamaxxing, not, oh, let's look at the media's reaction to me and how it's, how it's negative and positive. No, he's taken an hour and a half to finally get to Chinamaxxing. And he's just reading off a damn script.
You
see?
You holy Orientalism, dude. This is the one area where I feel like it's not Orientalism. I would go so far as say Confucianism as a fucking principle has remained calcified in many aspects of Chinese government.
Good, that's good. Read that Chat GPT, motherfucker. Read that thing.
And Chinese culture. And
he got wind of it too. Once he got that script popping up in there, oh, he's going off now about Confucianism. How is that modernized? What is this president in China doing that's a little bit different, or maybe update to Confucianism? Is it really Confucianism, or what is it?
It's been thousands of years at this point. It's not fucking
At
Orientalism.
this point?
It's just an accurate assessment as a white guy from afar. Okay?
All right. Hey, let's get to the infrastructure stuff now. Besides his lame ass attempt at philosophizing.
One area where it's not fucking Orientalism. Like they do really ride for this shit.
Wait a minute. How is it not Orientalism? Isn't that Confucianism? Wasn't that developed by China? What is the art of war? Is that not Orientalism? Even in Japan, they adopt Confucianism. In fact, if you study kotowaza, Japanese idioms, you'll find they draw on a lot of Confucianism, a lot of Orientalism. If you ever study kotowaza are idioms. There's these family of idioms. There's like 4 different types. And one of the types of Japanese kotowaza is the Chinese legend stories. And it's drawn from old Chinese fables, even Confucianism. So idioms are just these idioms or everyday expressions or sayings are just expressions that teach you some kind of morals or principles. Like one of my favorite kotowaza in Japan is, in Japanese, is the ishinfuran. Wakimebo furazu hitotsu no koto ro shuchū suru koto desu. That means that you focus on one thing. I like that one because you just focus on one thing. You focus your mind on that one thing. There's another kotowaza that draws on that same principle of the merit of focusing your mind on one thing. There, I did it. I said something specific. Why don't you? He doesn't do this. He doesn't say anything very specific at all. He's reading. He's doing a horrible job at reading, and it's boring. This shit is boring. Top streamer on Twitch, and this guy is boring, more boring than the quartering. At least the quartering can kind of drone on and keep the story going, even though it's just repetitive. But this guy's just reading, and he's doing a horrible job at reading.
And they have seen some of the benefits of this as well.
Yes, and I'm reading very stiltedly now. I'm seeing the benefits. What benefits? Name one benefits. Upper economic mobility? A more principled stance in life? What? Be specific, man. Keep reading.
I fucking hate all the Western news article says she's court the dragon. I'm not doing that stuff.
What does that mean? I don't know what court the dragon is.
I'm not doing that stuff at all. But to varying degrees, like Confucianism's.
Okay, I don't know. You're making me suffer here watching this crap. This is awful.
Cultural relevance and significance has remained, right?
What does that mean? Drink another triple there, buddy. He must have had a few. Maybe you should put the suit back on. Maybe that might help with your better reading skills and comprehension. Holy shit, the dead air.
But
Holy shit, another long period of dead air. Holy crap. But what? More dead air. Shh. I got to quote Andy Worski from Kino Casino. What the fuck? He always says that. Yeah, exactly. What the hell is this? Oh my God, this is awful. Yeah, top streamer. I'm splurging out. I don't care.
so I think that's the goal here. The flattery for Trump on the one hand, like the direct flattery for Trump, has worked. It has worked because they know
Direct flattery for Trump? Okay, like what? Show an example of flattery.
exactly how to fucking play him like a fiddle. Okay?
Wow, that's a strong take. He knows how to play it like a fiddle. Hey, diddle, diddle.
They know China, more than anybody else, obviously values diplomacy quite a bit, values stability quite a bit, and they know exactly how to flatter Donald Trump. And it fucking worked. I don't even think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. I want to chart a different path forward with China. One that is collaborative in nature, one that is not.
Wow, what a just insightful, creative, political take. What a strategy this is. Oh my God, diplomacy, free trade. Oh my God, collaboration, cooperation. Who would have thought? This is his hot take on China and the Trump thing? This is a hot take. Wow, how insightful. I better write that one down. Never heard of that before. Diplomacy. Oh, that's too big of a word. I'm sorry. Okay, so when does he get to the China infrastructure stuff? Did he already mention that? I couldn't keep track because I'm not even sure if he was talking about philosophy or Confucianism, or I don't even know what his point is. What's his point?
Creating unnecessary tension, unnecessary friction.
For example, like what unnecessary tension or friction?
One that revolves around cooperation.
Wow, amazing. Hey, get Kino Casino on the phone. Did you hear that one? Wow, cooperation. My goodness, boy. I got to look that one up.
Mutual respect for one another. Understanding one another's goals and ambitions.
He's still reading. He has to read that shit. He can't even say that. He couldn't even create the words out of his head emanating from his mouth. He couldn't even do this. He can't even read it. Oh, cooperation is big words. I got to check the thesaurus on that one.
Whereas the American perspective for the longest time has been single-minded, singularly focused on waging war with China.
Really? You sure about that one? Who was the guy that actually placated it to China in the first place? Wasn't it Nixon? Is that really the case there? Did you just read that in the chat?
Well, now China
at war. So what kind of things we were doing with China that we are at war with? Can you give us an example? Because I'm not really familiar with it. I know. We borrow a lot of money from them. That's about it. But it's not one of my strong points, and I'm going to admit that. But can you give me examples so I know?
Is so strong that even many American analysts are starting to recognize that.
Many? Name one American analyst. Not many. Name one. I don't care about the many. Name the one.
We might have to bite off a lot more than we can chew. Okay?
Wow, amazing. Let me write that one down. Bite off more we can chew. Did you get that, Al? Al, wake up. This guy's exciting. He's about exciting.
That's the reason why you're hearing from so many different American analysts and
Who? What does that mean? Okay.
And people that have worked in the CIA, people that are former
People and just some people somewhere, a lot of analysts somewhere just floating around. We can't really name one. Who was it? Hayek, Rothbard, Ayn Rand, Milton Friedman, Hans Hermann Hoppe, Mentis Way. Maybe he's one of the analysts. He just says many, a lot of them. There's lots of them. 2, that's many.
generals.
Generals. So we got some generals. How about some admirals too?
that this is an unbelievable mistake. You're putting good money after bad if you think that you can actually catch up to China with all the defense bloat that we have. I think that Chinese development
Okay, here it comes.
might yield a
Yield?
more peaceful path, a more peaceful future by force. But when I say by force,
Huh?
I don't even mean by like direct military intervention or like going
Yeah.
to war with China directly. I mean
Yeah.
by force is in like creating creating
Come on.
enough leverage and enough
Come on.
deterrence with your vast forces and with your productive capabilities.
So are you talking about intimidation? Is that what you mean? Intimidation with your vast forces? Why would you want to do something by force? As an Ancap who believes in the non-aggression principle, you want to engage in a free trade. You want to avoid any kind of force or coercion. Does not understand this. We don't want force. We don't want coercion. We want a voluntary trade. Okay, here we go again. Yeah. I mean, it's just that. Okay, let's keep going.
That you cause the United States of America to second guess, and you cause the United States of America to make more restrained choices in its military adventurism all around the world, and certainly against China.
And certainly against China. Okay. Okay, be specific. Like what policy you have in mind? What would it be better though to actually engage in like free trade? Wouldn't that be better? Free and open trade? Wouldn't that kind of quell tension? Right? Wouldn't that eliminate conflict? Because that's the whole point of anarcho-capitalism is conflict avoidance. So wouldn't you want to try to avoid conflict and not use any kind of force of any kind, what he just said? So if you want this cooperation, then open up the free trade. More silence.
This is a good thing, not a bad thing. So on that
How?
note,
How?
let's get into all of the coverage from my favorite subject.
Okay, so yeah, that was it about the China COPE thing. He did. I think he did. I mean, I missed it. He did mention about the high-speed rail and the shiny Chinese cities. Supposedly proof that socialism works. But this is just what they said. Just pure surface level aesthetic COPE. Sure, the cities always look impressive, but so does Pyongyang. That looks impressive from the outside, but when you go out into the rural areas, it looks terrible. But a lot of the growth, the reason why China had a lot of growth, especially after Mao Zedong died, was because they adopted free market capitalism in some of these communes, and they saw that people were adopting free trade between the communes, and they actually had developed surplus, and the I forgot who the leader was that succeeded Mao Zedong. He said, "Hey, let's open up with this free market idea, but we're not going to call it that, though. We're going to call it something else." And so that's how it worked. That's how they started to grow. They started to grow more and more by adopting free market capitalism, the free market. And that's how the Chinese economy has always worked. It's this open, close, open, close. So they open up the free market, free trade, and they're at the point now where it's closed because of the dictatorship, because the leader, Jinping, is a totalitarian dictator. As Ayn Rand said, reality exists as an objective absolute. Right? You don't get to ignore all the coercion, right? All the force and the ghost cities and all the stolen IP and the disappearing dissonance. Yeah, that one, especially during COVID when all those doctors started to disappear, the outspoken. I think they actually did find that one lady, though. They actually tracked her down. She was all right, but the rest of them disappeared, kind of been Stalinized. Sure, I mean, sure, just because the trains look cool and the cities look bright, big deal. It's got to be run. He does not understand. Fundamentally, it has to be run on a voluntary system. If you want to quell tensions between the two nations, you want to adapt free trade and voluntary. It has to be voluntary. It cannot be done through force. It cannot be done through intimidation. The shit gets built because people demand it, right? And it's profitable, not because of some central committee orders it. This is bubble economics on steroids, basically. So now we're getting to the next segment where he goes on about the he's going to react to the summit now, the summit footage, and the Xi Trump handshake humiliation or China winning takes. So here we are at that point right now. Let's hear his take on it, and let's jump into it.
Trump meets Xi Jinping in high-stakes Beijing summit. So I have a very different approach, I think, than many Democrats.
I'm sure it's really innovative and very creative, because that's what I've heard so far coming out of your brain is shit. Dead air and shit ideas. So I can't wait to hear his creative thoughts on this. Oh, this will be fun.
Democrats do certainly on this issue. I think this is good. I think this summit so far has been very good. It's been good for a couple different reasons. One, a lot of
first I got to read.
Fox News people finally went to China and got to experience like regular everyday Chinese
Okay, right here, I'm stopping this bullshit right now. This is the same kind of shit that people will see when they go to North Korea too. They saw it looks great, prosperity, look how wonderful it is, clean cities, all well, it's supposed to be shiny until the power off to let the trains run. So yeah, it always looks great because it's all staged for you. It is completely staged. It's fake. Just like North Korea, when you see it, it's fake. Everything is staged, just like China here. Of course, when you let the media in there, you get to see how it really is. Now, we've heard this kind of propaganda before. When Time Life magazine released an article back in 1960, I think it was, where they claimed to actually talk to real Soviets, something like, it was like 40 years after the revolution. Let's talk to everyday Soviets on the street and what they think about real, communism and stuff. But it was all fake. They're not actually talking to real Soviets on the street. It's just a lot of people just make it up and they publish it as a news article and the people believe it. The same thing here. Oh, they can experience what China is really like on the everyday streets. Yeah, sure, right. You're going to believe this scripted nonsense, and that's all it is. It's all script for you. And this guy's going to simp for it.
Experiences and showing that.
Yes, let's show the Uyghurs being marched off to the death camps. Why don't we go out to the rural area, asshole, and see how people have to walk to a well of a couple of kilometers with a bucket to get dirty water out of a well. Let's see them live in these rural conditions where they don't have air conditioning and live in huts. And their only choice to get out of it is to work in a sweatshop. Let's see what the real China looks like. And there's plenty of videos out there. There's a guy from South Africa. I forgot his name. He used to teach English there in China, and him and his friend would go around and travel to different parts of China, not in the city, but way the fuck out there in the rural areas to experience China how it really is. And they filmed it, and the stuff they film is just jaw-dropping. It's horrible conditions that are out there. Of course, when you go here, it's like Pyongyang. It looks beautiful. Look at Fox News. He's there. They're seeing how China really is. Bullshit. Why don't you go out there in the rural areas? Why don't you go visit those cities where they build these apartments, but they never finish them? They're called Lego houses, and they're all made of balsa wood, and they collapse because nobody's living in them. They're all abandoned. Just like their trains. They're shiny bullet trains that go to nowhere. Highways that go nowhere. This guy, like, thinks he's some kind of own. He doesn't get the theater. It's fake, dude.
To boomers is probably really good because boomers think China is a peasant country.
It is, asshole. You see how these people mostly live? He's never actually seen how they actually live. That's the thing. Now, when you go out into the rural areas in China, you try to go out there, you have to go out there on motorbike, on off-road vehicles, because guess what? The highways don't go anywhere. They end. They literally end in asphalt. Horrible, just road conditions. So you have to get off-road vehicles. And as you venture out there more and more, guess who doesn't like that you're out there visiting these places in China that you're not supposed to be visiting? The secret police. They will follow you. If they see you, a foreigner, poking around anywhere near the border between China and North Korea, or anywhere near these places where there are apartment buildings, there's nobody in them, these abandoned projects or abandoned coal mines, the secret police, they'll stop and question you. They will follow and question you. This guy's never experienced China. He's never actually lived there like an English teacher has. English teachers like those guys will go out there and film what it's really like in China. Not the propaganda you see on TikTok. There's Chinese propaganda where you have these foreigners showing you around China and showing you these great places, and it's all nonsense. It's all baloney. It's all fake. It's all propaganda. And this guy's never actually been to those horrible parts in China. So this guy's just full of crap right here.
Okay.
This utter nonsense.
Obviously, every single person in my community has a very different attitude because I literally went to China. I talk about.
Oh, I went to China. You didn't go to the bad parts, buddy. You didn't actually go way out there where you're not supposed to go.
China quite a bit. I talk about Chinese development quite a bit. So you've actually seen it. Okay, you've actually.
No, you didn't actually see anything. I'm going to say it again. You didn't actually see anything. You did not actually see anything. Okay, you saw fakeness. I'm sure it's all great. You're all simping for it. You masturbate to it, but it's fake, dude. It's all fake. Go out to the rural areas. Yeah, go out to those farms, the rice paddies there where they're dumping these weird chemical mixtures into the rice paddy. No one knows that's in this stuff, too. It's weird stuff. And it's all just, you don't want to buy any of that rice from there. Who knows what's in that stuff, man? Yeah, I wish I knew the name of that channel on YouTube that talked about their adventures. These guys got thousands of hours of trips that they've taken away from all the shiny, all the fake, all the facade, all the aesthetic nonsense. They go out there and go experience the real China. Yeah, I wish I could remember that YouTube channel. It's well worth the watch. They got thousands of hours of footage. This guy's never actually seen it.
You've seen it personally when you watched me do live.
Yeah, this is so genuine. It's so real. It's just like those TikTok videos you see of those foreigners in there. Hi, welcome to China. See, China is very nice. Look at these Muslim temples we have here. They're all fake. They're all tourist shops.
In China, right? In Beijing, in Shanghai, in Chongqing, in
Big deal. All you saw was fake plastic.
Chengdu, and also in Hong Kong.
You didn't go anywhere, buddy. You went nowhere.
But most Americans think China is run by an agrarian peasant society that is still working at the rice paddy. It is backward.
Sure.
That's like not dissimilar to the DPRK, and our understanding of DPRK is probably also different than what the
Oh, right. Yeah, the genocide, the labor camps, right. All right, we got a different sensibility over here.
DPRK looks like as well. Obviously, I'm not, saying it's fantastic, but like Americans are very sheltered when it comes.
Oh, yeah. Spare me, buddy, in the lecture. We've seen what it really looks like behind the scenes.
To the way that they learn about our foreign adversaries. So when you have
what does that mean?
On Fox News in prime time, going up to like Chinese stores and being like, look at this is a robot serving me a fucking sausage. A lot of boomers are going to be like, oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this is definitely peak nonsense. Yeah. He's going to try to pretend like China's authoritarian model is a winning strategy. That's what I think. They subsidize the steel technology. They rule through fear, right? That's not competence. That's this pressure cooker just waiting to explode. And all it takes, all it takes, now since China is run by one party, it's a totalitarian regime, it's run by one party, All it's going to take is one other party to be formed, and the whole thing will collapse. It just takes one political party, just another one, to come around as competition, and the whole thing collapses. That's all it's going to take.
They are so goddamn advanced.
No.
This is the first of its kind for this kind of interaction.
Propaganda, folks. Propaganda 101. Now, when China opened up, when they had the was the Great Leap Forward, or was the Cultural Revolution? What was that in the late 60s when they opened up and they allowed a bunch of foreign correspondents to go travel around Japan, China, just like this. The foreign correspondents, the news reporters would go there from Britain, America, wherever, and they would go there and visit China and see all these wonderful things. Look at Mao Zedong swimming in the river, right? But when the foreign correspondents came back, as they were coming back to their home countries, they started to realize something. It was fake. There was something scripted about it. And it was all fake, just like this. You think most people live like this? No. But this is all prepared for you. Just like North Korea, it's all specially scripted for you and prepared for you. This is not real. It's good to gawk at, but it's just fake.
Order something. Hello, can I get a sausage, please?
We already have something like this way more advanced than this crap.
Okay. Calchard, 8.8 yuan.
This is inside.
Wow, I'm convinced. That was so convincing. Oh, I'm so wrong, Mr. Hasan Wadawabi. Look how so wonderful China is. Yeah. Show them all the coal mines that are completely out of coal.
Oh, baby. Yeah, also, there's a very funny clip of Brett Baer has been the hero of this trip, okay? It's been very funny watching him go through the motions of like everyday Chinese existence. It's really funny. While Fox is complaining, they got
This is not everyday Chinese existence. How many times do I have to tell you this, buddy? This is not everyday Chinese existence. Maybe for the little actors that are playing around this little theater they're putting on for him, because they know he's coming. Everything's prepared for him. We're gonna show him the things we want him to see, just like that happened in the late 60s, the early 70s. We're gonna show the foreign correspondents what we want them to see. But eventually, you're gonna pick up on it later. You're gonna think about, wait a minute, something was wrong with this.
Ticket for illegal parking. This is what his team is doing. Beijing residents spotted this and uploaded to Douyin. Fox News Brett Baer filming in the middle of busy traffic. By the way, that is insanely dangerous, okay? Even fucking walking on regular sidewalks without paying attention to scooters whizzing by is dangerous. And this motherfucker's on the bike lane. I don't even know. This is probably one of the most dangerous things Brett Baer has done in his career.
Oops. Oh, no. Where'd it go? It doesn't matter. Is that the one I was looking at? There. Where were we at? Hour and 40.
Carrier teams, aircraft carriers, strike teams, destroyers.
Dude, you are a fool. We already have those kinds of things. We haven't had things that are more advanced than this. This isn't new. This doesn't just come out of nowhere. Okay, that's just so amazing. They have the same things that we do. Oh my God. Big deal. It's like when the Soviets were bragging about how they had the same kind of things. So what? Oh, look at the Soviets. They finally become industrialized. So what? England industrialized years ahead of the Soviet Union. So did America. So did even Germany. This guy thinks it's some great take here. Look what China has. These great things. So what? We've already had these things. Big deal.
Deploying half of our standoff munitions that we have for peer and near peer adversaries like Russia and China, because we haven't established sufficient air superiority that gives the American and the Israeli Air Force enough confidence to fly over and deploy.
Oh, did I skip? Shit. Oh, well. So basically, basically the reaction was, yeah, I mean, yeah. It's just a bunch of bullshit here. It's just pretending like somehow this is a winning thing he's mentioning. It's like, big deal. We already have these kind of technologies in our country and in other countries. Big deal. There's nothing special about it. And it just shows that that's the kind of the economy that China has sometimes. It'll close the economy and you'll get to a situation like they are now, or they'll open up a little bit more. That's what keeps them going. If they don't do this, they collapse. And the other thing that will collapse the whole Chinese government if there's another political party that runs against them, because they only have one political party. There are no, it's like what Hitler did, the same thing. He abolished all the other parties and there's only one party, the NSDAP. Just like China, there's only one party. Well, as soon as there's another political party comes around and as its competition, it starts to decentralize it, and guess what? It will collapse it. So he doesn't understand that real progress comes from protecting the individual rights, not from the two governments, America and China, carving up the economy. So you understand. What Ayn Rand nailed it perfectly when she said that the smallest minority on earth is the individual. You know what the real minority is? The individual. You are the minority. But Hasan here constantly just wants to ignore this. He wants to erase this. It acts like it doesn't even exist. The thing he has to understand again, real progress comes from protecting individual rights, not human rights, but individual rights. And all this is just two governments, just like what Germany and Russia did with Poland. They just carve it up. See, an anarcho-capitalist setup is that you'll have like private defense agencies and arbitration courts, and they would settle the trade without these pathetic tariff wars and photo op summits and other photo op summits. Yeah, but see, voluntary exchange beats government dick measuring every single time, folks. Okay. That's it for the take about his China simping. Now we get to the Taiwan Strait deal thing. So he's going to talk about the Strait closure talk, escalation, and the military tension. So let's see. Is that where he's starting? Talks about this.
Gravity bombs, guided and unguided gravity bombs that we have a virtually infinite supply of. And you're over here talking about it's not real, it's not full scale. A war
talking about
with China means full draft. What do you mean? Dude, what are you saying right now? You think that's a good idea? You want a full draft?
Wow, that's, whoa, boy, he's on fire now. Look out. Bombs away. He's got me convinced with that high, shrilly voice.
With a nuclear superpower? You want...
Well, we'll hold you to that one about the nuclear superpower there, buddy. We'll remember what you just said there.
To go to war with a nuclear superpower, and you think a nuclear superpower with unbelievable productive capabilities.
Who, America? Who, America? Is he talking about America? Unbelievable productive capabilities?
That actually can just stop our production, our defense production overnight with...
Really? Is that really true? They can stop our defense production? How?
Export controls. You will never be able to...
Right, export controls. Well, export controls. Let's talk about that Cuban thing you always want to blame the oil embargo on.
To build another fucking missile in the United States of America.
I think America has way more nuclear missiles than China does. Way more. But I don't think anybody wants to have a nuclear war. But this guy's just splurging out because some guy said in the chat, a war with China means full draft. Why would that mean we already have a war? We already have a couple of wars going on. There's no full draft on. We got a war going on in the Israel-Gaza thing. We got in Iran. we just went and invaded Venezuela and took out the dictator. I mean, we're in a lot of little conflicts and wars, but we don't have a full draft. But this guy's overestimating China's nuclear capabilities. He's exaggerating it just to get the splurging.
If China tomorrow says no more, you can make the same argument about the quartz that comes from the United States of America.
Excuse me, when we developed the atomic bomb, did we have China's help on that one? Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I think we'll just define, even if China cut that off, we'll still be able to afford to build military weapons and stuff. We'll be okay. I don't know where he's getting this from, and suddenly now America won't be able to build any more any kind of military force or any kind of now I'm starting to sound like him. It's starting to rub off me now. Starting to ramble on. But you get my point is that we'll be able to build our machinery, military armaments just fine without even China won't cut it off. I mean, China doesn't have us completely by the balls.
America are the semiconductors, certainly. But who
developed those semiconductors first?
more leverage over the other country?
I would say America does because they have a bigger nuclear arsenal. Even if China were to cut it off, they still wouldn't touch. How many more missiles do we have left? We don't know exactly how many nuclear missiles we still have. And Russia too. And this is what you're worried about. This is your argument. What Iran? We're already at war with Iran. They supposedly have nuclear capabilities.
Trump recognizes that, and he's a fucking idiot. So why can't you? No, I'm saying if it's a war with China, it's all hands on deck, no little tip-tap airstrike.
That's not going to happen. Anyway.
There is no war, just like there is no direct war between Russia and the United States of America, because Russia is a regional power with nukes.
It doesn't have to be a direct war. You can still be at war with someone. Look at North Korea and America. They signed an armistice. We're still at war with them. It doesn't have to be a direct war. It could be a cold war or a warm war or a hot war. There's different degrees of wars you can have. Does this guy understand this? You don't have to be at a direct war to be a war. You can be at an indirect war, like with North Korea and America.
Now you want to go toe to.
Let's see. I'm trying.
Stupid. This is just.
Why are you splurging out?
You ignore the fact that Europe and the U.S. would cut off relations with China. I feel like you have pro-China bias, which is understandable, but they aren't this unbelievably powerful nation that nobody can stop.
I know. They call them out on it. Yeah, they're like, really? Really now?
Dude, what are you talking about? This already happened.
What already happened?
What you're describing already happened. It happened with a much less powerful country, an energy provider nonetheless, but still a much less powerful country. The country known as Russia. It already happened with Russia. Okay?
Okay, I don't care about this crap right here. I was trying to get to the Taiwan Strait, but I must have missed it.
Given right to put all around China. Obviously, that's normal. Military bases all around a foreign adversary is normal. Them feeling bad about that or feeling, worried about that, abnormal.
Where's the strait?
Since before there were nation states, is going to be that there's hearing devices or stuff like that. That's the reason why they do it.
Where's the strait?
Behind the U.S. political lineup.
Trump would be
Taiwan.
Reunification.
Or even clash. For Donald Trump, the treatment was VIP.
Of American lack of curiosity.
For a meeting, most of
Let's see. Let's get to the Taiwan.
Political lineup were the tech bros that Donald Trump brought on tour. Elon
Okay.
Musk,
So what?
Trump, would have driven down the very street, Chang'an Avenue, one, and had
Come on, get to the straight part
He's
there.
my best friend. He told me.
The two of us.
markets.
Let's see. I don't care about this. Porter. Man, this goes on for way too long. I don't care about this. I already talked about it too much.
America's capabilities to a certain and only about 15% of
Let's
Taiwanese
see.
citizens want to declare independence. I know
Oh,
the polls
okay.
better than you do, I promise you. That's actually an increase for the record, as opposed to previous years. But this is not about the democratic wishes of the Taiwanese population, or rather, it is about the democratic wishes of the Taiwanese population, which is status quo. Status quo.
So what is he?
Quo is the overwhelming majority position in Taiwan. Okay? That's it.
So watch, he'll go on about the straight, but he'll blame Americans, say America's fault or imperialism. Well, I mean, America has been doing what the Soviet Union had been doing for a long time, was interfering in other countries' businesses. Yeah, they would interfere in elections. They would interfere and cheat in elections. They would interfere in other countries. I mean, look what they did with ISIS. There's so many different examples of how America interfered in other countries, and well, usually backfired. But yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. You wouldn't read the Confessions of an Economic Hitman. We show how we interfere in countries. We would send armaments to like insurgency groups to overthrow the whatever regime, and then it'd overthrow the regime to make it more friendly to Americans, just so they could open up like a Nike factory or something. China is threatening to invade, annex free. Yeah. So the thing is, what China's doing is threatening to invade and annex a free state. But they've been making those kind of threats for a long time. Okay, they've been doing that kind of stuff to Taiwan. It's supposedly a prosperous democracy there, and Taiwan does have higher living standards than China, and they actually have rights there, individual rights. So yeah, they're just threatening force is initiation of force. So plain and simple. He doesn't understand that. Yeah. So that's where he's coming from here. Let's see. Let's go on. I don't know how much longer we're gonna do this. I had planned I don't know if I want to talk about the
it's gone
Israel
up
sues
from
New York
fucking
Times.
10%.
It's only 15%. So it's gone up for 10. So it was 5%. Now it's 15%. Okay.
Okay, but like actually why though? Why do countries like China and the U.S. not just say happy trails to places like Taiwan and Puerto Rico? What's the benefit of clinging on? Well,
Oh, go ahead.
with Puerto
Here he goes.
Rico, I think it's just it's. I don't even think it's like a matter of national security for America, like the fear. It's resources, it's money, it's empire. But with Taiwan,
See, his resources, money is empire, imperialism. Yeah. Okay. I mean, seriously, it is. I mean that's true to a certain extent because America has been doing that for a long time, and has always backfired on us. You can name, Libya is one example. ISIS is another example. What we did in what was it, Afghanistan, that was recent. So yeah, and don't forget that always backfired on us, like 9/11, that backfired on us. When you go out and kill, when you go out into these countries and invade these countries and kill people off like that, or have these wars, or do like what they did in Gaza or what they did in Dresden. Eventually the descendants of those people are going to get pissed and they're going to want revenge. That's the thing. Like Ayn Rand was talking about, no one may initiate the use of physical force against others. Self-defense is not imperialism, what he does not understand. It's in a private law society. You won't have taxpayers subsidizing endless great power games. That's right. If you had private law society, Hasan, that's the option, not state. government, but a private law society, you will not ever have these taxpayers subsidizing these endless great power games that you're talking about. That's all this is. And insurance companies would set out real risk prices. Okay? If you had private insurance companies, they would run the risk prices. And also, if you had private security, would handle the protection. And that's way more rational than his option is. But he won't go into that at all. He won't go into any of this at all. He won't say anything about this at all as an option.
With Taiwan, it's not like the similarities between Puerto Rico and the United States of America don't exist with Taiwan and China.
Why? Explain. Explain like a 5-year-old. Why? It's not the same.
For Taiwan, it's Chinese nationalism. Okay, it's the idea that like this is a breakaway province that was initially designed with a separatist movement that lost the Civil War, and instead of recognizing that they were the same people, they chose to enforce their own wishes, both upon the island of Taiwan, but also certainly around the world until Richard Nixon.
Yeah. Keep going. Pick your nose. Until
China
Richard Nixon
is
what? Until what? Well, what? Until Richard Nixon what? Finish that thought when you pick your nose. But the thing is, it's about self-defense. It's not imperialism. Taiwan has a right to self-defense. If they feel threatened and there's some initiation of force, no matter who it is, whether it's America or China or Israel, they have a right to self-defense. If you're the aggressor, you violate the non-aggression principle.
Incredibly aggressive when it comes to any move in the direction of separatism. Most
Who? Richard Nixon? He didn't finish his thought about Richard Nixon.
countries would be that way as well, but China takes an exceptionally heavy hand when it comes to anything that it declares as a separatist movement.
And? Are you saying they're the aggressor?
I don't understand it personally. I
Huh?
understand it.
He doesn't understand it personally. I don't understand it personally. I know it's very easy to understand. You have a right to self-defense. If China is the aggressor and they're threatening to invade or annex this free, supposedly democracy, Taiwan, which does have higher living standards, they have a right to initiate their self-defense force. They have a right to self-defense, right?
From a matter of national security concern, right?
What the hell does that mean? What does that mean? A matter of national security concern. What does that mean? Explain it. Can you extrapolate on that?
Reaching the rest of the world. If the Chinese position on this was we value the TSMC, we value the industrial output of Taiwan, we also value our
Independence? Do they value their right to self-protection?
national security concerns.
What is
And
that?
Taiwan obviously is a major problem from that regard. From that perspective, I'd be like,
How is that a problem? Oh, they have a right to self-existence. That's a problem.
that's an understandable position. But the Chinese position is not just those things.
Oh, what is
the
it?
Chinese government's position, as a matter of fact, is different than
What? What is it? Come on, spit it out.
those realpolitik concepts that I'm describing here. The Chinese
I don't know what it doesn't sound like you're describing that. That's a nice big word again. Let me write that one down. Real politique. I'll write that one down. That's a big word there, like mayonnaise.
government's position is those are Chinese people that live there. We are united as one China. This is a remnant of the century of humiliation that we've overcome in every aspect. This is the final piece of the puzzle. We will
Let's
not
see.
allow it to remain a break-off province.
That's not a problem for him. He's okay with this. He's okay, but Taiwan is a country, and it has a right to defend itself. It's being threatened. Does not understand this. Ayn Rand, what she says here: no one may initiate the use of physical force against others. But that's what China's doing. That's the problem. You know, when you have a private law society, you shouldn't have taxpayers shouldn't be subsidizing these endless great powers. So I don't know what this guy's okay with threatening another country. I don't care if China, some Chinese people used to live there. It's now Taiwan is a separate country now. They're allowed to exist, and they have been a country. He hasn't even defined what a country is anyway. I mean, I'm an anarcho-capitalist. I don't believe in the idea of a state anyway. I think it's illegitimate. But if you're going to make this his argument that some Chinese people were living there and therefore China has a right to threaten a bunch of Taiwanese people, well, the Taiwanese people they can defend themselves then. But don't do it at the expense of taxpayers. They should use private arbiters for that. Just call up eBay, PayPal, resolution conflict. Conflict resolution, kind of backwards. Look at the dead air. That's it. That's his hot take on it.
Yeah, it goes a bit further than just the geopolitical calculations. In my opinion, if it was, China could propose a Russian-style demand on Taiwan, which is a non-aligned neutral state. But it does go further than that. They see Taiwan as being separate as the last remnant of humiliation by other countries. Yeah, I think so too.
But they have a right to self-defense, don't they? You have no right to initiate any kind of force. They're a country. This is full of shit.
It makes more sense for
What?
them
To invade?
literally say, what the fuck are you talking about? This is an island that's like 100 miles off our coastline. Why would we allow it to become a military base? No country would allow that to happen. This is a massive national security concern.
Then why do you want to initiate force upon it then?
If they said that, that literally makes more sense. Like
Just reading this
liberals
with
would
you.
probably be a little bit more understanding from that realpolitik perspective. They don't say that
What?
at all. They're like, nope, those are.
I like how he just kind of peppers his language with just some big words in here that makes him sound like he's really almost pseudo-intellectual. Like, oh, look at this word I throw at realpolitik. Oh.
Chinese motherfuckers, those are our people. Those are our people. We will unite with them. It doesn't matter.
Oh, you know what that sounds like? You know, it sounds just like that. My goodness, does that sound like Nazi Germany? Hey, those Germans over there in Poland and Czechoslovakia, they're ours. Therefore, that's Germany. So this guy's advocating the same shit. Holy shit. This is his argument, is to use force just because there's some Chinese people live there. There's some German people. Therefore, that's a German nation. We're all united one. We're all one Germans. One big Volksgemeinschaft. Making the same argument as Hitler.
And that actually kind of makes sense when you factor in.
That makes sense. Kind of makes sense.
Factor in the notion that China has not engaged Taiwan militarily when there have been plenty of moments to do so.
But they've threatened them, though. They've constantly threatened them with violence. Just because they want to do the Nazi Germany thing, the NSDAP goes, hey, those are some Germans. They're like 20% Germans over there in Poland. There's like, 30% Germans in Czechoslovakia. Well, we better go take care of those countries and unite them together in one big German empire. So China is just trying to do the same thing as Germany. They're threatening Taiwan. Why are they threatening Taiwan?
There have been plenty of opportune moments to do so when America's hands were busy. Right now is a moment for China to engage Taiwan militarily. This is every single day.
Oh, so he's advocating for the Hitler thing. Okay, cool. He wants to annex Poland. Imagine this guy.
Every single fucking day.
This guy would actually advocate for the annexation of Poland. He would agree with the Soviet Union and Germany. Let's split them apart. Holy crap.
That goes on. China could have just invaded Taiwan militarily after Russia invaded Ukraine. And then they would have had tremendous. They would have had an opportunity to do so if this was in the cards. If this was their goal, China could have certainly done this.
Man, really, at this point, I'm like 3 hours in. Jesus Christ, I'd rather listen to Nick Fuentes than this shit. This is more energy. Kino Casino any day. this is just horrible, low energy, just no charisma, slurring his speech, not even coherent at all. There's nothing smart or hot take about this guy at all.
After October 7, when America's attention
Uh-oh.
was spread both in Ukraine, but
Is he going to start talking about Israel? I'm going to skip that part. I don't care about Israel sues New York Times. If you want to watch a good take on the Israel-Gaza thing, go watch David Smith's reaction to Gad Sad when Gad Sad was on Joe Rogan. I recommend watching that one. Go watch that one. Because I'm not going to go into the Israel-Gaza thing. Okay, and then he was going to go into polls, domestic rants, and Nate Bluen interview. He does an interview. What was the hot take about that? Oh, yeah, he does more capitalism bashing, of course. And like every time he pivots to American polls, he screams about capitalism being the root of all evil, blah, 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 the usual nonsense. So the biggest lie in the whole entire stream here is that, okay, the problems don't come from too much capitalism. He doesn't understand this. Right? It does not come from too much capitalism. This is not enough. They come from the corrupt, okay? The very system he supports, they come from a corrupt mixed economy, socialism for flags, full of money printing, fiat currency, counterfeit money. The government gets to print counterfeit money, crony regulations, and welfare traps. Yeah, but he's all for those. But he doesn't understand. That's where the biggest problem lies. If you want to eliminate the evil stuff that corporations do, you want to eliminate the following. You want to get rid of the fake funny money. You want to get rid of the crony regulations and the welfare traps. Abolish the welfare state. Make it criminal. Make it a criminal activity, criminal offense for the government to print any fake funny money, because they can get away with printing counterfeit money all they want, but mafia can't. And get rid of the crony regulations. Because, true laissez-faire capitalism, as Ayn Rand called it, is the unknown ideal with the ironclad individual rights and zero initiation of force. Do you understand that, Watanabe? That's what unleashes human potential, not the endless redistribution and online complaining. That's what this guy is doing. I'm sorry I splurged out in some of those parts, but I didn't mean to do my complaining, but it's too late now. I've gotten like 3 hours into this guy's stream. And first of all, he's not entertaining. Hasanabe is not charismatic. He has no good production. His outrage framing works for people that are intellectually immature, young Zoomers. And that's probably one of the reasons why they have him on Twitch front page. But his entire worldview is just built on collectivism stand. It will not survive any contact with objective reality. And to go on, reason, individual rights, rational self-interest, and voluntary cooperation, which he does not endorse. Those are the principles that actually move civilization forward. Everything else is just sophisticated excuses for control and looting. Keep voting, guys. Vote harder in the next election. Maybe that'll all change. We'll get rid of those crony regulations. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm pretty much done with this jackass. I don't want to do any more hot takes on this guy or low cold takes, whatever. I'm tired. I'm not going to do any more of this guy. I tried to endure 7 hours of this crap. I couldn't do it. He's boring. He's actually more boring than a quartering. If you like to see me do some reaction clips to him, maybe I might do it. I don't know. I think it's just time to move on to something else. I have plans to do some other videos. I got, yeah. So anyway, thanks for coming out. And if there are any like parts in Hasan's streams, timestamp them for me. Like when he does another stream, like next week, and there's some places in there you want me to talk about and react to, give me a timestamp on those streams, and I'll do my best. And I wouldn't mind going through another part, but I'm not going to listen to a whole entire stream like this. No way. Never again. This is just boring. This guy has absolutely no charisma at all. Yeah, forget it. Pass. Yeah. It's just, he's totally ungenuine. Okay, that's all. And I think it's time to leave. It's time to say goodbye. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And what else is there going on? Well, you'll see next week. All right, take it easy.